Hi guys, welcome to day 55 of Scout Lockdown. Today I'm going to talk about the patrol area for when we're camping. So this is the patrol area I used to camp in when I was a scout. There were many different versions of patrol areas and different setups depending on your camp layout, what you're doing on camp, the shape of the field you're staying in. But this is a basic patrol area that I used to work to when I was a scout. And we had lots of patrols all doing the same thing. So I hope you enjoy. It is a great way to camp if you're doing a patrol camp, and we're going to talk about campsite layouts on another day. But your patrol area, have a look and see what you think, and next time you go camping maybe you can try it. Thank you for watching. So today we're going to talk about patrol areas when you're camping. Now there's lots of different patrol areas, lots of different sizes, lots of different things you can have in your patrol area. It depends on what you're doing for your camp, where you're camping, who's camping with you, the shape of the field. But I just want to go through a basic patrol area that I used to use when I was a scout, and we camped like this all the time. So this is my patrol area, and there would be lots of these. Every patrol in our troop had one of these. So I just want to go through the patrol area and go through how to camp like that. So we'll start with the area. So this is our area, and this would be roped off with a barrier about waist height. And the reason for that is that this is my patrol's home for the week camp. So like you would at home, you wouldn't expect everybody to wander through your home at home. You wouldn't expect your neighbours to wander through to go down the shop. So this is our home. These are our walls to our home for the week. So if you want to access this patrol area and you don't belong to this patrol, you should wait at the gate until you have permission to enter, and you should say, please can I enter your patrol area, and someone in that patrol will say yes. Obviously leaders can just enter. That's why, if you remember Camp Gadgets, many of my patrol have a camp gate, or a patrol gate, and many of them have a little board where you can hit with a bit of wood, or a little bell, so they can have a doorbell for their patrol area. So this is the patrol area. So what's next in our patrol area? Well, we're going to need a sleeping tent or sleeping tents. So in this case I've got a Greenlander, 6-man Greenlander here. But if you've got dome tents, you may have 1, 2, 3 dome tents, however you're using for your patrol. In this case I'm just using the one tent. So this is my patrol tent, this is my sleeping tent where I'm going to sleep, and it's out of bounds during the day because I don't need it unless I'm changing or needing something for my bag. You don't need to go in there. That's your sleeping tent. So this is my dining shelter, just an open shelter, just a shelter. It's where we'll be cooking our food. It will be where we're eating our lunch and doing our social activities. So maybe a game of cards if we've got some free time, maybe a board game, maybe reading, maybe our patrol challenge, taking shelter from the rain. We'll be cooking on gas in there if we need to, and that's our dining shelter. So that's our living space if we're not using the rest of our patrol area. So if our patrol is doing patrol cooking on camp, we will need a little store. So this will keep our pots and pans if they're not on Camp Gadgets. If we've not built a bookcase or a shelf and stack for a Camp Gadget, we'll be keeping them in there, and the leaders will probably keep most of the food, but your potato peelers, your utensils, your kettle, your tea, coffee, and your tins may be in there. Tea and coffee, I'm doing patrol camp, each patrol will have tea and coffee. They can boil the kettle at any time. They can and make themselves a cup of tea. There's always creep points to get me making a cup of tea for me. I usually leave a cup with most patrols, so I get a cup of tea from somewhere. But they'll keep all their equipment, if it's not being used, in their patrol store. So once they got the basic tents up, they would start, my scouts would start on a Camp Gadgets. So they may have built a patrol gate with a doorbell, a little washing line there, the welly boot stand, and maybe a shoe rack. They wouldn't keep their shoes out there during the day, but they would during the night, because they'll get wet. But while they're changing shoes for hiking shoes and hiking boots and other shoes, they can keep them out there. Or if they're drying them, if they've just been into the lake for canoeing or kayaking, raft building, they may dry them out there on the shoe rack. Little mug tray in the dining area where the mugs are. Little dresser here with a little mug tree going along the top there. Maybe a little rail there for the tea towels. Your wet bin and your dry bin at the back. That's probably a bucket and a frame lashed together, so that it will drain into the bucket. Maybe. So that's a basic patrol area which you would live in. And again, like I said, this may change from camp to camp. It may change from field to field. It may change from what equipment you have. You may have lots of little patrol tents, lots of little three-man domes instead of a sleeping tent. You may not even have this sort of setup, but we can go more advanced from this. So even more advanced, you'd have all your patrol area, and then you would have a chopping area ready to saw and chop wood. Remember when we did axe safety, to make sure you get that the right size. And a cooking area if you're cooking on fire. So a cooking area, and remember wind direction, because we want the smallest edge of our tent pointing into the wind if we can, so it's less of a beating and more aerodynamic from the wind going this way. And also the fire, we don't want the fire downwind of our sleeping tent, because it will just blow the fire into our tents, or the embers into our tent. So if the wind's blowing that way, we would have the fire on this side. In this case, the wind's blowing that way or that way, so the fire's over here, so that it blows that way. So this is a patrol area. There's lots of different variations. This is mine. We've got to see there, we've got the gate to our fire area and a gate to the chopping area. There's lots of other gadgets you can build inside, but this is a patrol area, and this is how I camped when I was a scout on every camp. So every camp we would turn up, we'd whack our Greenlander up, we'd whack our dino shoulder up, a store tent if we've got one, build our gadgets. If we were doing more advanced, we would have the chopping area, our own patrol area in our patrol area. If we weren't, that would be a communal one. And this is how we camp. We would have another patrol there, and another patrol there, and another patrol there going on. And we were inspected. Our patrol area had to be tidy and clean. We would line up out here. The PL would tell the skip that we were ready, and skip would march around with the PL or the APL. Sometimes it was the APL's choice, and he would inspect to make sure that we were tidy, clean, our sleeping bags were clean, our dining shelters were clean, and all our plates and cups were clean, and everything was tidy and organised. And he may have also thrown in a kit inspection, so we would lay all our kit out as well from head to toe on a ground sheet. That's every single thing of kit we got. So I can tell you, the more organised you were, the more points we got. We also got a point for every gadget we had, and every day it stayed up, so that was good. I'll tell you a story about one of my scouts did to me another day, but the longer your gadget stayed up, the better. So this is a patrol area. This is how I camped when I was a scout. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learnt something from it. Thank you for watching. Stay home and stay safe.